Hey, I'm Brian Van.
I'm Max Van.
And today we're going to recap N2 Wera Pitt Race 2-hour endurance. Well, you could probably already see this went a whole hell of a lot better than Brainerd.
Yeah.
Yes. Wera and N2 come together for the endurance racing.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, this is the second year that we've done this event at Pitt Race. The two organizations combined do a hell of a job.
A lot of riders.
Oh my God, this event is huge.
Yeah.
It is huge. You know, for that reason, this year we showed up to the track a lot earlier than last year.
We did.
Thinking, hey, we're going to get in there and we're going to get set up and it's going to be great and have a nice, easy night. And what we didn't realize is Keith Code California Superbike School was there on track that day, so we didn't get to move in till 6, so we got to spend some time with our friends from 3 till 6.
Yep, basically.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was
Caught up with Mark Miracle, Josh and Melissa, talked to them for a long time.
My boy Robbie Gilaro.
Yeah, Robbie, man. Got to hang out with Robbie. It was cool, and then we got moved in. We got set up, the two of us. It was just the two of us this weekend. We still set up our full canopy off our trailer and just...
Yeah, so it's 2 hours worth of work, but it wasn't
Yeah,
bad.
man. But, you know, we're getting to spend time together working on some stuff. It's good. Last year when we did the 2-hour endurance race, I have to tell you that race is still, even though we didn't get the result we wanted, it was one of my favorites.
Same here.
It was Max, Gus Rodeo, and Joe Landry Jr. You three had a sprint race for the first hour, swapping the lead, just rolling.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to watch. And that was the first time, no, I'm sorry, the second time we'd done an endurance. And long story short, I suck, okay? I didn't prepare correctly. We had horrible fuel strategy, and he came in the lead. It was very tight. Him and Gus and Joe were very tight. And I sent him out 15 seconds behind Gus.
Yeah. And, you know, since...
That sucked.
Yeah, Gus and I and Joey, he didn't have the greatest pissed out from what I recall either, but we all had the same pace, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to... We're all pushing to the limit, you know, basically every lap, and even when we're tired and things like that. And,
that was a great race to watch.
It's hard to close the gap.
You got second that year. Gus won that one.
Yeah.
And I vowed, I'm like, lesson learned. I will never repeat that mistake.
Yeah.
So before this race, right, we're going to go do it again this year. I got a Hunsaker quick dump can.
Yeah.
It's not a dry break. It's just a quick dump can.
Dumps pretty quick.
It dumps pretty quick, and I practiced with it. We took measurements of the fuel, had an idea of how much was going to go in. Long story short, our buddy Jose, thanks for your help, man.
Jose Lareda, you're the man.
He is the man. He helped out with the stop. I did the fuel dump. You did the entire 2 hours by yourself.
I did.
And you executed perfectly. Max, this is a team effort. We won.
I will say so, yeah. Us three,
we won by,
did a good job.
By what? Was it 40, 30?
45 seconds.
Yeah, it was whatever. It was a lot. It was good.
For sure. So, time to talk about the race a little bit, I guess.
Let's talk about the start. So he qualified on pole.
I did qualify on pole.
How did that work out for you?
And I'll just say, before the race, I talked to one of the competitors, fellow competitors. His name is Ryan Snooks, after the riders meeting, and he was just like, you know what? Something you got to know about us old men, we never back off. And I'm like, all right, you know, we're good. I was like, I'm going to let you know how this is going to plan out. I said, I'm going to get a terrible start, and then I'm going to get to the front, and I'm just going to push as hard as I can for the 10 laps. Or for 10 laps, or a little bit longer. And technically, I did just that on the first lap. So I qualified on pole, remember this. I think after the first lap, I was in 7th place. And that's, you know, dropping down technically like 7 positions, you know. So I kind of realized, I was like, well, I kind of exactly I got to do what I said I was going to do.
Right now, I'm just sitting here thinking, why did you say that?
I know, right? Like,
dude, you were on pole. You should have been. My plan is I'm just going to lead from flag to flag. How about that?
The start was a little bit confusing. I thought they were dropping the flag, and they didn't. And, you know, it was just everybody kind of went, and I was sitting there. I'm like, oh, God, time to go. And then, again, like I was like P7 by the second corner. I just kind of got swallowed up. And I was able to make my way through. I started leading the race, and I passed everybody. And then there was a kid who's a fellow Moto America racer. His name's Isaac Woodworth. He saw that.
Dude, he rode great.
He rode great. I was surprised.
He rode
Isaac,
great.
if you're watching this, killer
Great
job.
ride, dude.
It was impressive. But he said, he saw that I had pace, and I was able to make my way through lap traffic respectively, but quick, of course. And he just stayed behind me, and we didn't really mess each other up. And I just kind of went for it. And I think I was doing consistent 59s for the whole hour, and I kept looking back, and I saw that it was only Isaac, and I could look back probably three to five times throughout that 30-something lap stint.
Yeah, you two broke off.
And I think we were well over 10 seconds ahead of some sort.
It was more than that.
20. I pitted a lap early, came into the pits.
A lap before Isaac did.
A lap before Isaac did.
Right when we planned.
Yep, right at like 58 minutes or so. They dumped.
Me and Jose rocked it out.
Rocked it out.
Great
It
stop.
was
Super proud of
smooth.
that.
Again, I pushed, like I said, as hard as I could for the first 10 laps. I managed, I think, like mid to high 59s, including, with lap traffic for the first hour. Last year, I kind of realized I pushed as hard as I could for the, for the first whole hour. It was just kind of going back and forth. And I didn't really have time to think about, not exactly my fitness, but like my, just technically fitness for the whole race. And at the end of the 2 hour last year, I remember I was pretty banged up. And this year I kind of wanted to make the tire last and just kind of be smart. I feel like that's what I did. I didn't push for a crazy lap time. I had a few 58s that were predicted on my lap timer, but ran into lap traffic. But that's cool. After rocked it out in the pit stop, and then I asked them, I was like, how big is the gap back to second place? And Jose goes, don't worry, bro, don't worry. So we were good.
Yeah, you just go.
Yeah,
we showed you the pit board.
Yeah,
I showed you the pit board, and it was 35. As soon as we got,
it was 34 seconds.
As soon as we got a time, you were in the lead again, right? Because we needed people to pit, so I waited for them to pit too, because that's when you understand when they pit and then they go back out and cross the stripe. That's when that gap gets established. Yeah. So that's the times that I showed you. You're able to expand upon that a little bit. Yeah. And then you just rode steady Eddie, 201s, 02s, and a lot of that probably had to do with the people that were in front of you.
It was a lap traffic. To be honest, the first 4 laps I think were clear, and then after that I had nothing. You know what I mean? After that there was just...
There's 35 bikes on the grid, and you have a very diverse group of people. There's going to be Moto America front runners. You were there. Avery was there. Isaac was there. Levi was there.
The top 8 were the best Junior Cup riders that we're going against.
Yeah,
so.
I mean there were fast people, and then there were people that they just want to be out there competing in this and have a good time, and they're going to finish further down in the order, and they understand that. One of the things I thought was kind of cool is there's a team of riders that are out there that shocking they're racing motorcycles, but you got to love their spirit.
And they can ride. Some of those they can ride.
Yeah, and they can ride, and one of the team workers came over and complimented you on the fact that he said his riders talked about how you didn't feel the need to stuff them.
No, not
you could
at all.
identify, okay, the pace is a lot different here, and you made sure when you made a pass on them that the pass was super clean and you're not spooking anybody.
Without a doubt, because I'm going there, I don't want to be... I want to go there to show that I have speed, but I don't want to go out there to be, I can pass you with the biggest balls and I can just stuff your brains out. I'm not going to care. Of course,
nobody
in a
wants
race, sometimes you want to be like that, and when you're racing professionally and you're fighting for a win. But when I know I have a 40-second gap, or when I know it's just I can easily pass them a couple corners later, I'll just continue to wait. I'm not going to spook them and maybe cause them to crash or cause them to somehow run into me.
Because you could ultimately end up hurting yourself too because you knew you were in the right position.
Yeah, right? I knew I was in the right position. I also knew that I had a race next weekend, and this one was important to me too, but important. The next 2 are going to be more important.
So congratulations on the big win, buddy. It was fun to be a part of it.
Thank you.
It was a big weekend for us because just the 2 of us went, so as soon as he gets done with a 2 hour, right, we had opportunities for him to ride in the 6, but we saw the mixed weather that was coming in, and we were both because we had our whole Moto America canopy set up off our trailer.
That's, again, an hour and a half to tear down if we're just moving the whole time.
It's a lot of work. We decided, you know what? I don't want him on somebody else's bike in the rain. I also don't want to put my canopy away when it's soaking wet. So he got right off the bike, got his suit off. I think we had a sandwich. We tore down our hot pit. We tore down our canopy, loaded the entire trailer.
And that was that.
And that was that.
I kind of hung around for a little while. I watched part of the 6 hour.
We did.
It was interesting.
Got to catch up with some people, some of the N2 people, Evelyn from Wera.
Yeah.
just other friends and stuff that we don't get to see all the time because we're not able to make it out to a lot of the other events because we're working and we're racing Moto America. Hats off once again to N2 and Wera both. That combined event is very well done, especially when you consider the scope of it. You know, when you're trying to manage something like that with all these folks and all these different personalities, it's a challenge. And I got to tell you, what I've seen from year to year is both were good, but without a doubt, you know, they're making improvements to make it better and better all the time.
Sure.
We look forward to doing that for many years to come.
Year. And
Man, it was fun.
For sure. And I think the most difficult part of that whole event is, you know, you have the professional riders and you have people that are just going out there to have fun. You know what I mean? And even when there are crashes, they didn't red flag it every session. They just, you know, quickly got the bike gathered up, make sure the rider was all good, and they just put it off to the side.
Oh, hats off to the people working, the corner workers at Pitt Race.
Yeah.
What a solid job.
Yeah. They
like your race, there was how many I saw one, I think in turn 1.
Yeah, there was one in turn.
And they got that off.
There were a few, maybe like the most 3 to 5, something like that, but they were all put off to the side.
Yeah, no red flags, which was sweet.
Yeah,
and that's all about the corner workers, right, and the safety crew getting their job done and keeping that endurance race rolling. I thought that was excellent.
Very, very true.
Well, there you have it. On to Pitt Race Moto America next weekend.